First things first, guys. How are you?
We're very good. We're at Pink Pop Festival.
We
Loving
are.
it.
Yeah, never been here before, so it's our first time.
And it's sunny, which always helps at festivals.
Always helps.
Yeah.
Well, since the last time I spoke to you, a lot has happened. So first I want to go back to kind of the first album and the way you released it. And because you released the track every month. And afterwards, once the full album was out, did you kind of see the benefit of doing it that way?
Yeah, definitely. I think from the off, we just started touring and then realised that the song a month thing really spread around the world, which is very crazy. So,
right.
Yeah, instantly we saw SoundCloud had a real amazing effect to reach people.
And then when we started then playing live shows, we've obviously done other projects before where you have maybe like a couple songs that people know, but from the get-go, like everyone knew every song at our live show, which was we kind of didn't even realise that could be a possibility. So that's been really amazing, like being able to play like an hour set and everyone knows all the words. It's really cool.
And well, what is it's gonna be a fake question, but what is that feeling like when you write something and like I remember from the first time I spoke to you, you didn't write with a purpose. It was just making that music, and you didn't think about touring and anything. So being able to tour and then having people sing every word of your song, what is that like? Especially when you don't expect it or intended it.
I remember the first time we heard a crowd sing back, and it was bizarre because the only people who had like heard it for me and Josephine was like me and you, our family, some friends, and then loads of like numbers on the internet. But we didn't know that these numbers actually translated to being people who felt something when they heard the songs. They knew the words. They could come to a gig and share that with us. It was amazing, wasn't it? Bless you.
Hay fever, sorry. It was. Yeah, you can never prepare yourself for something like that, can you? And even now, like, I don't think you can ever prepare yourself for a show like Pink Pop. We've got absolutely no idea what to expect. It could go an infinite number of ways.
Yeah.
And we're still constantly surprised when we go out. And if like a few people know the words, they'll be like, "What? How do you know the words?" It never gets old.
Yeah.
But you've been doing this now for a couple of years, so how have you experienced the fact that it has taken off? Is that a weird thing?
Like
it doesn't.
that.
No,
Okay.
it's weird because it's just like a fluid process, isn't it? It's kind of we don't take it for granted at all, but it's and you don't get used to it, but you just.
I think it's because we're doing the same thing as we've always done for the last 10 years. We're showing up, we're playing shows, we're making music, we're releasing songs. But for everybody else, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like, some of my friends even go like, oh, there's an awareness around, like we've seen your posters up in the underground station, or you've been in the newspaper that I was reading on the way to work, or I heard you in my favourite cafe, or whatever it is. And not to say that stuff isn't incredible, but like for us, we're still turning up, playing shows and releasing music.
Yeah,
so
the difference is other people are turning up, not just us.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
But so when you're thinking about new material, then Ultralife is the new album. Was it a very liberating process then, or were you very conscious of the fact that you had an audience now?
It was a bit of both. I think there was a healthy pressure knowing that there were people waiting for the tracks this time. But we never really put pressure on our shoulders. Even with the whole writing process, we were very relaxed about it. We didn't write with anyone else. We were never forced to do anything. We just said, we're going to make an album. And
make the best album that we can. Because you can't, what I've realised now is it sounds really, really like simple, but like if you look at a cross-section of people in the world, I don't get on with everyone, right? I don't love everyone. There's some people I absolutely idolise, some people I think you're a bit of a jerk. So no one is ever not everyone will ever, what am I trying to say? Everyone will never like you. What am I trying to say? You can't please everyone.
Yeah, there are always going to be some people who don't like you.
Exactly. So I think once you realise that people won't like you, everyone's not necessarily going to love you as a person. Why on earth would they love your music? So once you realise that and you think, okay, I don't need to write music to please other people. In the same way that I don't need to behave like X, Y, Z to please other people. I think that's very liberating, and I think we just then went into it being like, we're going to make the best album that we can. And I think
for ourselves, and if people enjoy it,
then that's a bonus. Yeah.
And because I read you did some writing in New York and some writing in London.
Yeah.
So and then I think you just rented an Airbnb in Brooklyn. So was it important to get that kind of very relaxed atmosphere and then kind of almost like a holiday type thing.
Yeah, I think we also needed new surroundings because the last album was literally written all in the same room, wasn't it? Essentially.
Written and recorded, yeah.
So we needed to be out of London, I think. We needed to be in a new environment, in a new energy as well. New York had that kind of crazy pace that London doesn't have. So you could go out, we'd write until 2 a.m. and then go get pizza because we could.
Yeah.
So,
we ate a lot of food. It was great.
It was great. But yeah, it was very relaxed. It was like a little holiday, but we were just writing in the daytime, so it was cool.
When you went there, did you have an idea for the songs? Were there already? Okay.
We had nothing. That bit was terrifying. I remember the few weeks before we
first,
went.
Like chords, you're like.
Yeah, we just kind of like set up the keyboard. It's like, right, let's write an album. That bit is intimidating and very daunting.
Right.
But it worked out fine.
So how long was that period? How long did it take until you wrote something or did something where you thought, okay,
it was
we're
maybe
on the
like
right track now?
5 songs in, I think. I think we wrote Heartstrings.
Yes, we did.
And we were like, oh, this is kind of a new sound.
This is cool.
So we kind of explored that sound for a while. And I think then we wrote a song called All About You was the next one maybe. And then we started writing a lot at night time, so we came up with a song like Waste and Solo. So yeah, I think it was just like experimenting, and then we took all the songs home and then decided what to do with them.
And at this point, do lyrics already come in, or is it first just looking for a certain sound or a certain atmosphere?
Oh no, it's always chords and lyrics, and then melodies, and then the sounds just came way later. There was even a period when we had like all of the songs just as piano vocal demos, and I was still like, dude, I don't know what we're going to do with these. We need to do something cool, you know. Is it going to sound like the first album? We've got to, you know, move forward musically. I was like really freaking out, and you were just like, don't worry, it's fine, it'll come. I think internally you were freaking out a bit, but you were just like, if I just remain calm, then we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think the approach of recording was so different that it was never going to sound the same.
Right.
So I remained calm.
But so in that sense then, did you know what you wanted to write about? Because, people often say art is a reflection of life, and your life changed quite a bit in the last couple of years, so...
It was never conscious, but it's really weird. I listened to a few of the songs yesterday, and it's so odd how in hindsight you look back and you think, whoa, that is totally a mirror image of how we've been feeling for a year. It's so bizarre. I look back at it and it's odd. So yeah, it's totally a reflection of touring.
Can you give me one example of maybe a song that you listened to and thought, well, I didn't know I was feeling that, or... So,
like, all of them.
Like the first song, Solo.
Okay.
The chorus is, I need to be solo, freedom in the mono. So I need to be on my own. The fact is, we're on a tour bus with 12 people all the time. So that alone is just like, you need space on the tour.
And you find yourself having to say to your crew and your teammates and stuff, you're like, oh, can I come hang out with you? And you're like, oh, I just need to be on my own for a bit. And like, even that, so small, but I don't know, it's so odd. And you see like the characters that you live with on tour, and they're in the album, and you see a song like My Friends is probably the most personal and the most apt, and I listen to that now and I get really sad because it's about literally missing our friends and our family back home on tour, and that sense of like, don't forget who we are, we're still your friends.
That's a very interesting thing, because I hear this more often, where obviously you miss a lot of things. You miss birthdays, those kind of things, and then kind of when I don't know if it's the same for you, but when you come back, you kind of miss inside jokes and those kind of things. So in that sense, what makes it worth it to go? It might sound like a silly question, but what makes it worth it going out?
It's a few things.
The hour on stage is a big thing. The time that you have with your fans making music is the 1 hour of the 24 hours that
makes
the
it
best.
worth it. Yeah, the other 23 hours are not particularly enjoyable at all. They're tiring and they're difficult and they're exhausting, but the 1 hour on stage like makes up for that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you get, which I'm just starting to love, is perspective. So being away from things that you love, you realise what it is that you need to make yourself feel good, you know, to nourish yourself. So I've learned that I need the people I love. I need to spend quality time with them. I don't need to just text them on WhatsApp. And it makes you, I guess, reassess your values. So I've now become the person that will never be late meeting someone, or will never let anybody down or cancel last minute, or I've become way more loyal to my friends, because you have 5 hours and you're like, I've got to squeeze you for 5 hours and then I'm leaving again. So yeah, it gives you great perspective, and you come home, and every time we come home, we're like, we've just got too much stuff, because you've spent like 6 weeks living out a backpack, and you come home and there's all this stuff in your house, and you're like, why do people spend money on things? Like, what do you need?
What are things?
Yeah, you don't need anything. You need a book and some company, and that's it, really.
But that's a very interesting concept, because when you go home, does it feel like home in a sense?
It's weird. The more we tour, the more tour and the tour bus and everything, even though the buses are different every time, they feel like home. And I like go to sleep in a bunk,
It's
and
weird
I'm just
that,
kind
yeah,
of like, oh,
I'm comfortable.
it's bizarre.
No, I think things start to feel like home. So this sounds really weird. There's like a yoghurt that I love. So everywhere we go, I ask for this pot of yoghurt, and like that to me is, I'm like, oh, this is comforting.
Right.
And I bring a case of coffee on tour, so I've got a huge coffee making thing, so that I can turn up to Pink Pop today and I can make
You can make your own coffee with your own
and
things.
no one has to make me a coffee. I can make it myself the way I want it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's small things like that that just
that feel like home, that reground you and reset.
yeah.
So in that sense, and I don't know where the word Ultralife came from, but is it kind of a double-edged sword in a way, that I don't know the right word, but that it goes two ways?
Work both ways.
I think it's not necessarily Ultralife that's a double-edged sword. I think the album explores both sides of it, which is because touring, like, it's really interesting. Touring is one of those things that 99.9% of people just regard as absolutely incredible and really glamorous, and you're traveling around the world. But people forget that we're still human, so we're still going to wake up and have bad days, just like you are.
Sure.
You know, if you're sat at home, you're still going to wake up and have a bad day. So you're trying to deal with this, like, the most incredible thing ever, which is touring, whilst feeling rubbish, which is just, and then you feel guilty, and you're like, why do I feel bad? I'm in the middle of the mountains in Canada, but we're all human. So I guess the album is about, you know, admitting that it's okay to feel difficult or depressed, I guess is the word sometimes. You know, you have the highs and the lows of life, and it's just about working within it to try and find something that is ultra for you. So for me, it's my yogurt, you know.
Right.
No, it's not that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's finding something that makes
Pulls you out of the
centered. Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Finally then, about the music, because, well, like you say, the music came in later, and then kind of the sound developed. So for a song like Lifetimes, which is
Oh yeah.
a bit different,
Yeah.
so how does that come to be? Is that just experimenting? And
that song was very much experimenting. We went in the studio, did a version of it, and it sounded very different.
Well, the chords initially, the bam, bam,
Yeah,
that was
was another
I
song.
get it when you make that face. It was a different song completely.
Yeah, totally different. So it was very much like, we've got these two songs we love, neither of them work.
right.
Let's glue them.
Let's try rewrite some lyrics, glue them together. And then we took it in the studio, came out of the studio, and we were like, it still doesn't have the sound. And then I remember just pulling down all the drum mics and just leaving the big room mics on. And then it's got this huge kind of pumping sound, and then put a load of beats on top, and it sounded suddenly like it had character.
Right.
And we wrote that rap section that you do. That was written after we'd recorded and been in the studio, and we were trying to just like finish it. And I was like, we need a rap. And then yeah, you rapped. So yeah.
What was that like for you? Because it's new territory, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
know.
it's spoken word more than rapping,
But yeah, I'd
isn't
say
it?
it's single note speaking. Yeah, it's fun, and it's fun to do live as well.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to play it today.
We are going to play it today.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Cool. Wicked.
Yes.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wicked.